Welcome, everybody. David, hello. How are you?
Hello, John.
I'm here with my esteemed colleague, Immigration Attorney David Yurkofsky. David, we last spoke for the election. So
Wow.
you were on a long business trip visiting client in the Far East, in Thailand, Japan. Welcome back,
Yep.
Paul.
And LA, San Francisco, by the way.
So I'm amazed how you can be so efficient working when you're traveling. So congratulations and kudos to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, it's been an eventful few weeks.
Absolutely. And we were just talking, we started about, a lot of people have questions, what's it going to be like under Trump for the new administration? And, we were talking about how there's a lot of pessimism, a lot of, we see on LinkedIn, a lot of immigration attorneys, um, are saying, it's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible. But I don't share that same, um, I don't share that same line of thinking.
I
I
mean, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I would say, as the Beatles song said, Paul McCartney said, it seems like things are getting better. And then John Lennon said, can't get much worse. They were a great team, the way they would do the twos and make these little lines. And I really think they can't get much worse. I mean, my recollection, you keep the stats better than I do because I know you're watching things really carefully by the days and the months, or for instance, how long it takes to get a wage from the Department of Labor or how long PERM is taking. My recollection is it was faster under Trump, considerably faster, the PERM and the green card. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I mean, it might have been more challenging. They might have asked more questions and, challenged things a little more with RFEs. But as far as how long it took,
you're right. It was faster. We were, you know, I've I generally have been very, I consider myself an optimist. I like to see the glasses half full. I was disappointed in how the Biden administration did not did not take advantage or did not really advance the cause of immigrants in terms of.
frankly, they think with Obama, going back to Obama, and not going back too far in history, but you know, Bush, George W., the son, really wanted to do immigration and make a great deal with Vicente Fox in Mexico. And then we were hit on 9/11, and that basically through immigration became terrorism. It just became a while there was that was when it was bad for about a year and a half there, 2 years. But people were going to jail sometimes and crazy stories. But immigration, whatever, that never would have happened. And I think, and it's now 23 years since 9/11, more. I mean, a lot is now. And it's funny because the people who did immigration reform were Tip O'Neill and Reagan. They did the whole program, and I haven't seen anything. I'm so disappointed in they do these little things like to make things easier sometimes. Like for now on, spouses can work. Not that I understand the logic of it. There's no logic, but of certain like certain H's, if the green card has been ending for a while, for L's and E spouses can work and, do any job they want. But meanwhile, you've got all these people who, you know, and employers with shortage occupations. If it's a shortage occupation, how can it take 3 or 4 years? It's shortage now, not in 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's probably still going to be a shortage, but I mean, it's not a very nice way to treat U.S. employers, making them wait so.
It's not. You're absolutely right. I love your, you have such a good perspective on history. A lot of the things you're talking about, some of our applicant work experience living twins. they, they were babies. And so thank you for sharing.
We're turning around. And the other thing that, as you said, the fear mongering.
Yeah.
And yet now they're saying, oh, Elon Musk might have worked when he developed PayPal and he was like an F1 perhaps. So that means he might have lied and they should take his sin. There's so much hate. It's so strong. And here the guy is pro-immigration. They should be supporting him. He wants to make legal immigration better. And by the way, legal immigration also includes people who come to the border and may have a legitimate claim to asylum. I mean, that's a tradition of America. And, trying to make things, apparently over 90% of the USCIS workers do not report to work most of the time.
Work from
In
yeah, I think that's going to change. That's the big difference versus Trump's first term is that he did not have like business and pro legal immigration advocate in you know that he has Elon Musk sitting every picture that had breakfast, lunch, and dinner together.
and Vivek Ramaswamy, and even some of the other people, even RFK Jr., his family tradition is not against immigration at all. They're all very pro America's immigration, the immigration nation.
So yeah, our focus is going to be on really trying to bring attention to the legal immigration processing times. We have an opportunity with I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Doge.
I like those. I think they speak Doge, but I think Doge.
It's just, but that's was really during Trump's first term, and so I think that's exciting. I think the opportunity to make a lot of immigration processes more efficient, is very exciting. I think there are, there's a lot of low hanging fruit. Say,
And people even our colleagues seem to be rooting against it, especially in New York and LA and all over. They make fun of it. They make fun of it as if it's some kind of joke, like they want it to fail. I just can't fathom this. I want to succeed. I want everything to become more streamlined. I want technology to improve so they can. By the way, speaking of people not going to work and not doing their job, how long did it take the Department of Labor to process PERMs in the month of August, and what did they get through? Like, what's the report on that? Did you?
yeah. So thank you. The processing times in the past couple months have slowed from 13 months to 15 months. Actually, they are now approving September 2023 PERM filing priority date cases. Take them forever to get through August. They have this new flex been on. Yeah.
Everyone's on vacation in August.
No, that's not. Try. Nice try.
They were all at the beach.
So it's tough. It's tough being sitting in these chairs that we sit in because, we it's frustrating on one hand, but we are hopeful and have to be optimistic on the other hand. And
It's as we always tell everyone, you're going to do the green card process in most categories, except maybe EB-1 extraordinary ability that might be faster or national interest waiver. You have to be a patient person. And for me, I like to get things done now. I don't like I almost didn't want to ever do an EB-3. I only wanted to do O1s and EB-1s because I wanted the client to be happy and I wanted the case to be out of my life. I didn't, if you have Indian and Chinese clients, if you have a practice, you may not be able to finish the case. It may be your son or daughter who took over your immigration practice finally finishes the case. They're so backlogged. And that's why my understanding is we would never, ever tell someone who's from India or China to do an EB3 if they were born in India or China. because you're literally at 20, 25 years, which is ridiculous. Even
Yep.
over 3 or 4 years is too much for me. But at least 2 or 3, 4 years, people know time flies.
Yeah. 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 It's all about the expectation. When we were, when we were in Italy, my wife, in October for our 25th wedding anniversary, we did a little tour of the Colosseum. They built the Colosseum in 9 years. 9 years to build that. This is 2,000 years ago. You're telling me it takes 5 months to, you know, issue a prevailing wage determination? That takes that. So I think everything in terms of immigration process.
And as far as we know, unless there were ancient astronauts helping them, they had no gas. They had no electricity.
No electricity.
I mean, it was human labor and maybe mules or camels or horses or slaves.
But the moral of the story that I we think
It can't get much worse. That line from John Levin when Paul McCartney saying, looks like things are getting better all the time. And can't get much worse. I don't think it'll get much worse. I think it's going to only get faster.
Tesla and SpaceX use EB green cards. Trump's resorts uses the HB to have an opportunity to slot immigration. We have a pro-business administration coming in, so I'm full that see progress.
By the way, in LA and San Francisco, I have to say the nicest people I met appeared to me to be from south of the border. Whether it was at hotels, the cleaning staff, people cooking out on the barbecue, the fish, like the sweetest, nicest, most hardworking people in the world. If we have to thank our lucky stars that when you look at all the border wars going on in this world, that the border that we're worried about is these, people from Mexico who are the nicest, biggest complaint about them is maybe the music's too loud when they're playing volleyball on their day off in Washington Heights. I mean, such good people. We're lucky.
Yeah, we are.
These are not terrorists on our border. They just want to work. And if they can't find a way to have like a worker program, I don't know, maybe $1 million a year, but, and maybe it doesn't get them a green card, but they don't care. They just want to come here and work and be able to send the money back home to Mexico and to their families because their economy's not too good, compared to ours. Like, it's just such a win-win for us. I actually got friends in the restaurant industry. I had no idea that in New York City, Mexicans are not just cooking the Mexican food. They're cooking the Thai food. They're cooking the Italian food. They're cooking the French food. They're cooking the Indian food.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right, D. I think this was great. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you too. I really, like I say, can't get much worse. Everybody hang in there. There might be some, news, but let's see how much we are actually affected in a negative way. Like maybe H-1Bs could get a little bit more scrutinized like happened last time. But didn't we get through it?
We got through it. Yeah. But I for EB3s, I'm very optimistic. And we'll keep everybody informed as we through 25. And David, happy holidays.
So Merry Christmas to you and your family. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, if you have anyone who celebrates that. And look, who knows? Maybe there'll be an immigration reform and they'll increase the numbers and they'll get rid of this ridiculous monthly visa bulletin that that keeps people waiting and waiting for years and years, and keeping employers who have proven, based on job advertisements and 2 Sunday newspapers and all the rest, that there is a shortage. And we need these people now. 2 years, 3 years, not in a year and a half, not 3 years and 9 months. We need them now, and it's actually holding back the U.S. economy, which means it's increasing the deficit. If they could get these people here sooner, it would lower the deficit. Is that just math? Is it just me?
That makes perfect sense to me. All right, D.
Let us pray.
I'll see you in the next one.
Bye, John.